Well, hello, 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 and welcome to the Legacy Insights Podcast. And I am your host, Moving Money Mike. And welcome to episode number 27. Man, oh man, oh man. Lessons learned, legacy strengthened in 2025. This is the last episode of the year. Can you imagine 27 episodes strong? Listen, we powered through. We made it to the end of the year, and I am so proud of all of you who have participated and listened into the show and helped to make this show a success that it is. And from to encourage me to keep coming back and providing this guidance and this insight to get your mind and your money right. Again, this is episode. I really can't express the joy that I'm having. I really can't express the joy that I'm having in this episode and how things are moving along. Okay, listen, let's just get right to it because I've got a great show for you tonight to bring this to a close. So we're here to discuss entrepreneurship, financial strategies to guide you to your goals and dreams. Simply put, we're going to be providing insight to get your mind and your money right. We're going to be covering topics, tips, tricks, interviews, interviews with business leaders, all spectrums from the most experienced to the people just starting out and how they're making the switch from the 9 to 5 grind to the dreams and goals that they're looking to fulfill. And I just want you to consider a few things and ask yourself a few questions. What is a legacy? How do you build a legacy? And what is sight versus insight when it comes to a legacy? Because listen, that's what this show's all about. My job and responsibility is to help you become in becoming better informed individual, more informed entrepreneur, and financially free. So it's time to let's get smarter. All right. I got my trusty show notes here, and like I said, episode 27. Um, wow, lessons learned, legacy strengthened in 2025. Um, I like again, I already thanking you. I'm thanking you because like I'm just so full with gratitude. I'm full with gratitude and just showing up consistently for the year. Not only you, the listener, but myself too. To stay consistent week after week for 27 weeks in a row, coming live. You know, it really takes a dedication. It takes a dedication to the and belief in what I'm doing to provide these insights. All right, provide this knowledge, and like I said, the desire is to continue to grow. I need you to acknowledge the economic pressure, the uncertainty, and then the fatigue many people are feeling out there, and that's the reason for the show. You know, but I want to make sure that you're understanding the mission, right? This show is just not about me getting on the mic every week and just talking. There's a mission here, right? The legacy framework, the 6 pillars of a legacy is my contribution back and giving back. You know, I painstakingly took the time to come up with these concepts and this strategy of the legacy framework to provide a guiding light to those who are searching, right? And it's my responsibility to deliver on that. So, legacy isn't about perfection. It's about progress, alignment, and intentional decisions. So that in itself is part of the legacy pillar, that alignment. I'm telling you that alignment is really becoming one of the strongest pillars in the legacy framework. If you haven't heard it or go back into the episodes, the previous episodes, hit that subscribe button. Listen to these episodes because they're filled with lots of nuggets that are designed and put there for you to get the juices flowing and the wheels turning for you to start to investigate your own personal journeys, because it's literacy is one thing, but IQ is another. You have to be financially intelligent to be able to apply the literacy to your lives. So let's keep this thing moving. So this starts with you, right? It starts with a decision and keep showing up. Um, that's the last pillar in the legacy framework is you, because you're the most. It might have been the last pillar, but it's the most important one, because if we don't do it, who is? No one's coming to save us, right? I say that all the time. So it's about the financial literacy, and then the financial intelligence, the IQ. You have to come together so that you and I can apply it, right? And so, and that's all about the very first pillar, the learn, the L in the legacy framework. It's about information creating options. I shared it in the last episode. If you're worried about something, go to work. If you're not worried about something, guess what? Go to work. If you need something, go to work. If you don't need something and someone else needs something, go to work. Just go to work. Whatever it is that you have to go to work with and at, that's what you should be doing, right? Because it provides options, right? And it doesn't provide all the answers, but options are better than answers sometimes, right? Because if you want a particular answer to something, it may not always show up. If you want a certain answer, like a yes or a no, I don't. I try not to give advice. I try to give some very strong suggestions, right, based on my experience and then the knowledge that I've received, learning, and application, right, and so that you can have options, because that's what'll get you. That'll give you some choices so that you can make some informed decisions. So let's keep it moving. So the year in review, what we confronted. So let's talk about it. We highlighted some real world circumstances and some discussions about what took place last year. We talked about inflation and cost of living pressures, right? Real job stagnation, layoffs, AI disruption. We talked about credit scores, debt cycles, and delayed retirement. Now, I'm just going to touch on that for a second, because I'm not a spring chicken, right? I like to think I am some days, right? Get out there and hitting the bag, going to the gym, right? But I got to realize, right? Um, there's coming a time that retirement is going to become an option, right? Or a reality, really. I mean, retirement. I tell people all the time, it's not an age; it's a number. So when you hit your financial number, retirement becomes an option, right? Well, someone just hit that Powerball number. I think they get almost like $800 million this past December, 2025, right? Guess what? They're retired. They don't care how old they are. $800 million, you're retired, baby. So that's good luck to them and good fortune to them. If you're listening out there, tap in with me. I can help you with some retirement planning. Okay, me and my colleagues are certified financial planners. We could definitely help you out a lot. Okay, so um, we talked about that delayed retirement. If you're not in position, then we need to do some things. You need to go back and listen to the previous episodes and start getting your mind and your money right, so that your retirement isn't delayed. And like I said, I don't plan on delaying my retirement. Now, I might go into retirement as far as what I do on the planning side, right? But this show, in its mission, I'm going to ride this out, right? Bringing the information so that you can make better decisions and have some options is a mission of mine. It's not about just sitting down and writing out policies and retirement strategies and planning for people, right? That's the business side. I want to provide the information to you and your family so that you can get your legacies built, the mindset of necessities over niceties, right? We've got some things taking place in this country and around the world that we need to be aware of, but more so dealing with at our own addresses, right? That's what your show is about. The world economy is going to take care of itself. but you got to take care of yourself at your home address, and that's what the show's all about. And that don't delay your retirement. So that's what we're going to be tapping into going into 2026. So you're not too young for this conversation either, right? Because how about being 35 years old and retired? How about being 45 years old and retired because your money's already working for you? Okay, okay. You hear what I'm talking about? If you want to go skiing, you love playing the piano, you like the violin, you want to go sit on the beach all day. If your mind and your money is right, guess what? You could do that no matter what your age, right? Retirement is not an age; it's a number. Okay, so let's keep this thing going. The emotion we talked about the emotional weight of doing everything right, but still feeling behind. Because a lot of times it's not our fault. A lot of times it's not our fault. We've done everything that we could possibly do, but guess what? Sometimes life throws us a curveball, and we get hit when we overextend ourselves to a situation, thinking that we're taking the best chances and options, right? With our mind, our money, our living, and for our families, and then get all jammed up. And now, guess what? We're in a place that's real bad financially, losing everything that we put our hard work in. Or guess what? Someone pulls the rug from underneath you. Now you're jobless. You haven't put in any of the learning. You haven't put it in the second pillar of elevate, upskilling, side hustles, having a plan B, a strong plan B. Okay, something that could replace your income, and also investing and having your money work for you too. So yeah, there's some things here. There's some things here. So let's keep this moving. Okay, we're going to talk about just the fact that the key message here is the squeeze is real. Okay, but awareness is the first advantage. So that's what we're talking about here. So I've talked about like some of the things that we've covered over the years, and the things that that are hindering our performance, because the speed bumps are always going to be in the road, right? That's what the road is designed. The road is not to just let you fly down it and everything's hunky dory and you can do 200 miles an hour, 0 to 200, and you're flying and you're hitting all cylinders, you're hitting all your goals, you're making all your money. No, there's some curveballs. I talk about when you walk out your house, you're in a deficit. The last episode, I shared the fact that I went out the door and I spent almost $1,000. I know where I spent it, but it's one thing to go out and need some things. It's another thing to go out and have to get some things, and then realize, wow, I just spent that amount of money just to restock my home, right? And to do some things, take care of some business, right? And that's a lot of money. A lot of people can't just do that, right? A lot of people can't do that, not at this time. So the squeeze is real, and knowing is the first advantage. So let's talk about these pillars, right? The first one is learn. I mentioned it already. Understanding the system, right? There's the six pillars of the legacy framework. Please, if you don't know them, it's there. Please get into these episodes. Go back, listen to the 6 pillars, the framework of the legacy framework, and understand them. Dig into them. I'm going to be bringing some more information to the show and in depth on each pillar and what it pertains and how it can actually work for you, the concepts, the strategies, and then the implementation, so that you can apply it directly to your life no matter where you are. And then of course, change. Okay, that's a huge pillar. um Adjusting habits and not lifestyles. Okay, so that's really big. So when you show me a man's habits, I can show you a man's life. Okay, if you can show me what you do, or write down what you do every day, or if you can't write down what you do every day, I could basically tell you where you're at, whether it's financially or project wise, or the anything, right? And that's why I say that I'm so proud of those of you who have been here with me consistently from the beginning, right? Because that's a habit. That is a great habit, is to show up and get information weekly. Okay. For me to show up weekly and drop new content for you, that is that is a strong habit to show that, hey, I'm building something here. I'm giving away the information that's going to help individuals. That's a strong habit to have. That's an admirable habit to have. And when I show up to my mentors' teachings and instruction and learn from them, so I can bring it to you, that's a great habit to have. You got to have a mentor who has a mentor who has a mentor, so that everybody's in alignment. Beautiful thing to have. So that's the first advantage. And changing those habits and having strong habits is the key to having a great lifestyle. So we're going to recap some of these core lessons. Let's talk about it. Here we go. We're going to reinforce some patterns and talk about um, just these themes that have been reoccurring for the past episodes. Time is your most valuable and abused asset. Okay, I've talked about it in past episodes that you have to guard your time, just like you have to guard your health, your mental and emotional stability. But time, believe me, don't ever get caught guilty of turning your back on time. Please don't, because the resource is the one that you can never pay back, right? Money, you can never pay yourself back money either. That's a false concept as well, because once you spend it, it's gone. You can't put it back. That means you just got to make more of it. People, we like to tell ourselves these falsehoods. I talked about that in the episode about lies, right? And we telling ourselves these false truths, the narratives that we tell ourselves, right? You can't make up time, and you cannot repay yourself any money, because once you spent it, you've made it once. That's the only opportunity you get to get it. But then when you spend it foolishly, you can't pay yourself back. No, you just got to make some more damn money, right? I like to keep things 100. I like to keep things real honest, right? We get caught up in telling ourselves these lies and these narratives about how life could be, and or our perception of the reality, rather than the truth of the reality, right? And so here we go. Time is your most valuable and abused asset. Let's not waste it. Waiting is more expensive than starting imperfectly. So, what are most people waiting to do right now? Waiting for the January 1st to start the health plan, the meal replacement. And, I don't even want to use the word diet, right? I say it because that's what people do, but it's really a better eating habits, right? It's not a diet. It's better eating habits, right? Because if you think you're going to stay on a diet, you're not. You better start eating better, okay? But most people are waiting for a date or a time to get started. I've heard my kids and some people say, "Oh, I'm getting ready to start." So what does that mean? I'm getting ready to start. I'm getting ready to get ready. What does that mean? I'm getting ready to get ready. Wow. Wow. All right. If you say so. Okay. Small systems beat motivation. It is almost humanly possible, is almost inhumanly possible to stay motivated all the time. But if you have a system in place that just, this is how you do it, this is how you do it, this is how you do it, you would make more headway than just trying to stay motivated by hitting the time clock and jumping up out of your bed and telling yourself, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. You will eventually not go, because we're not built for that. But if you know that there's a system that runs, and you're running a system, and that you just have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, that will keep you on track, because it's designed for repetition. Motivation is not designed for repetition. It will help you, but it will not keep you sustained. The next thing I want to talk about is that um, Legacy is built in ordinary decisions and not in windfalls. So again, we're talking about a system, right? When you're making consistent decisions based on a strategy and a system that's in place, you will always come out ahead than just kind of winging it. And that's that windfall that they're talking about here, right? So let's talk about some past episodes. Resetting identity and mindset. I talked about the reset, right, for 2026, right? And that's what we have to do, right? We have to get ourselves emotionally and mentally ready, spiritually ready for what's coming next. Do we have a plan in place? Go back to that episode, okay? What was it? Reset, realign for 2026. I forget the name of the title. Excuse me, but it's there, right? Getting in line, getting ready for 2026. That's what it is. Okay. And then you want to talk about the credit as a tool and not a label. Okay. Money is a tool. Every dollar should have a destination. Your credit should not be more than one third of its total value on each card, right? And and I'm actually going to be diving more into that credit space in 2026 to bring you even more information about how credit is actually built so that you can get your credit scores up. Hey, we could all use that, okay? Because if you're not making the total amount of dollars that you would like to be making, at least your credit, if every dollar has a destination, you can make sure that the money that you do have is working for you, in the knowledge that you're going to be acquiring through this show and this program will allow you to build your credit so you can do more things. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, retirement catch up strategies. Okay, we haven't all done all as much as we could when it comes to retirement. I know I have not. I should be way, way, way further than I have. Like I said, you can't pay yourself back, and you can't regain the time that you lost. I remember, when I first started out in my home improvement business over 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right? That um, I made a lot of money and I blew it all. Just think, if I had known what I know today, how much further I would be. I would be retired from the actual work side of what I'm doing now, right? Um, I still love to work. I love helping people, but I love talking and sharing that information even more, providing strategies and tips and products and contract information so that you can make better decisions for your life. That's what I really enjoy. And I really do enjoy it. And that's why I'm going to keep showing up all through 2026. So let's talk about this. Okay. Automation, consistency, and protection. Okay. We have to move along with the times. I know change is hard for a lot of people. The advent and the introduction of AI is more than just recipes. I am currently in the midst of automation. Okay, that's going to be some huge changes coming to the show, and believe me, when I'm off this tonight and for the time coming, I'm deep in the books, people. Getting this automation thing together, because I really want to bring you the highest quality product show that I can deliver, and the only way I can do that is by automation. Okay, and even consistency and talking to you about being regular and being more available to you. Okay, and then we're talking about protection. Now the protection part, that's where we're talking about insurance, trust, wills, um having diversified portfolio, your family being covered. Protection is even just having knowledge about what to do and when to do it, right? Do you have an evacuation plan? Do you have an emergency plan for your family if something were to happen? Fire, storm, flood, earthquake. Do you have the survival skills and or strategy in place? Do you have flashlights, batteries, a backpack with first aid kits in it, right? We talk about financial strategies in and things of that nature here too. But hey, guess what? In this new year coming, we're going to be talking about it all, right? Being prepared for life and building a legacy across the board. Across the board, we're going to be expanding and having topics. Believe me, I just can't wait for it all to come together and to fruition. So let's keep it going. Okay, let's talk about the pillars. Yeah, I highlighted a few before, but I told you that alignment is so key. Um, action action matching intentions. You ever meet somebody say they talk a good game and never do a damn thing? Their alignment. They're out of alignment. As soon as you see them coming, say, "Oh man, here come this guy, here come this girl, man. They just talking. They just be talking, right?" When they're out of alignment, especially with you and I, right? Because we can see those people coming a mile away, but the only person I can't see coming is me. So sometimes I'll be saying some things and trying to do some things, but I'm not following up with the action as to get the result that I'm actually after. I haven't fully developed a strategy on how to get there. So I find myself fumbling or procrastinating. So if you find yourself doing that, guess what? Ask yourself, are you totally in alignment? Have you done the homework? Have you gotten your intentions, your actions, and your intentions, your actions, and your strategies all going in the same way? Because you got to have all three. Okay, so that's that at first with that alignment. I tell you, it's one of the most valuable pillars in the legacy framework that we're gonna be touching into. Guard, okay, guarding is protecting your time. I tell you, that's the most valuable asset that we have. Um, it's the most valuable and the most abused asset that we just throw away. We got to protect our income, our time, our credit, and those assets, right? Those all assets, we got to protect them. Okay, elevate that other pillar that I was talking about, upskilling, right? Because you're working at your jobs, you're trying to build something else, or you're not, and you're just saying, why are my ends meeting? Well, you got to upskill, right? I told you, jobs don't pay you; they pay your position. So they're only going to pay you the position so much. So if you want more money, you got to do some more things, get some more skills, right? Get you a side hustle, certifications, whatever that may be, so that you can up the ante, right? You got to just make some strategic moves. That's what it really comes down to. You got to have a strategy. You got to have your alignment in place, right? What you say, your actions, and your strategy, so that you don't find yourself frustrated. Because if you don't have those three, you will be frustrated. Okay, let's keep it moving. So, what are we talking about here? Wins, wake up calls, hard truths. All right. Um, I said that my mentor told me a while back, my life is my own damn fault. So if I want my life to be better, I got to do better. I got to protect my time. I got to get my life in my intentions all in alignment. Okay. I got to elevate, pick up some skills, do some things. That this show is actually helping me to elevate. I'm gonna keep it 100, y'all, because I'm learning and I'm putting the screws to myself. I'm under pressure to deliver a quality show. I don't know if you can tell, but I sure enough can. I'm bringing the best I can for the time being, but it's going to get better. I had a friend who used to say it's going to get gooderer and gooderer. Okay, that's how it works. I laugh every time I say that, right? But it definitely upskilling, right? Working on the production, outside interviews, on location, bringing in guests. Oh man, the technology of man, I am so psyched. And you say souped. I'm so souped about what's going to be coming down the line. So let's just keep it moving. Okay, enough blowing my own horn with that elevating and upskilling, right? But that's what this is all about. We're all in it together, people. This is our community, right? And I want you to share in the upskilling. I want you to share in the progress. I want you to share in the elevation. That's because that's what this show's all about. It's about you and I. right? Go to the Legacy Insights podcast, hit that subscribe button, drop in the comments. Tell me what you like about what you're hearing. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you want to hear more of, right? Because that's what this show is all about. Bringing the information to you so you can go out and get the information that you need to get your mind and your money right. Building that legacy. How do you want to be remembered, right? What do you want to leave behind for your loved ones, for the community? How do you want the world to remember you, right? What is your mark on this world? You were created for some great things. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Okay. Wake up calls, hard truth. My life is my own damn fault. So take control. Take control of your finances, your credit, your income, your job, right? Your career. Take control. Right. I was watching a special the other day, Dave Chappelle's latest special, and he came out and said, "Listen, I got to speak this thing into existence and speak it like a lion." Guess what? Take control of it. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm talking to you about. Take control of it, right? Where I'm at today, I will not be tomorrow. Where you're at today, you will not be there tomorrow. That's what this show is about. Building people, building lives, building legacies. Okay, first time investors, you got to start somewhere. There's a whole bunch of apps where you can just start putting money out there over what is it called? Time. Uh, um, I tell you, I be talking so much. What it is investing over time. When you're investing when the market's high, when the market's level, when it's low, it's just investing consistently over time. Okay, and then also you're talking about families having money conversations, right? You got to have these hard conversations. Talk about it. Okay, I was at an event last night for a family member. Okay, babe, young 1 year old, right? Beautiful event, and we were talking with another grandpa, and we were talking about the babies in the future and how things happen, how life happens. And I was saying to him, I was like, you know what? We want to give our tribe in the future, our legacies, an opportunity, but we also need to know that our time is coming too, to fall back, right? So we've got to instill in the younger ones, okay, the structure, because it's missing, discipline, because it's missing, okay, responsibility, accountability, right, in the younger ones, so that they one day can stand on their own feet, because we ain't gonna be around for so much longer, right? So our job as the head of these tribes, right? You're the leader of your tribe. I'm the leader of mine, and I can't just talk it. I gotta walk it, right? I gotta show and prove, as they say, right? So as pop and mom and all you guys are out there, family members, dad, moms, aunts, uncles, and you're doing this thing, right? Remember that we're doing things for the youth, so that they can one day stand on our own. And guess what? We can walk away and know that we've done our part, so that when we walk off to sit in the shade of that tree that we'd like to get under, right? Right? We could do that knowing that we did our job without any regrets, right? We provided that information, right? I like to say too. There's an old uh, um, poem or proverb. It says, "I'm planting a tree today, knowing I will never sit in the shade of that tree for my family, in my legacy," right? So I'm planting that tree so that they'll have the protection from the storms that are coming, and they're coming, right? They're coming, and so that is the reason for this show as well, right? So let's get to it. Let's get to it. So you got to have those family conversations, and then you got to have those systems replacing the stress. See, because if you're working with a system, you don't have to stress about it, because they're proving strategies. That's what the legacy framework is all about. I'm going to be providing you a system and systems that you can implement right away so that you can take the worry out of what it is that you're living through, because you're going to be able to do boom, 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 the strategy, the formula, the legacy formula. I've got it. I've worked on it. I've just got to deliver it now. Okay. That's what's coming in 2026. Go to the Legacy Insights podcast, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you're hearing, how you're liking what you're hearing in the comments, right? Scan that QR code. Scan that QR code. Take that financial overview. Learn some things. Reconfirm some things, right? Know that what you're doing is you're heading in the right direction, because that's all we need today. We already know mostly what to do. See, I was talking with another financial professional the other night at the office, and I was saying to them, you know, um, everybody's financially literate already. Oh, I know about that. When you start to talking to people, oh, I know that already. I know that already. Oh, you do? So what part have you done? Because that's what I'm asking now. Because you already know. But if you have not applied financial intelligence, some IQ to it, okay, you know. Knowing's not enough anymore. Application is where the magic happens. All right. Application is where the magic happens. Hope is not a strategy. Okay. We'll just talk about that. Hope is not a strategy. So these are some of the wake up calls, right? Because a lot of people are talking about, oh, I know. Okay. You know. But hope is not a strategy, because that's all you're talking about when you know. That's all you know. You know about, you know, legacy planning. You know about wills and trusts. You know about index universal life policies. You know about annuities. You know about a budget. You know about, credit repair. But what part have you done? You know about upskilling and side hustles, but what have you done? So, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, knowing is not enough anymore. It's the application consistency and having someone on your team working with you to help you achieve it. That's what this show's all about. Lifestyle creeps kills legacies. Lifestyle creep kills legacies. You're talking about how, just the day to day grind and the ruts of life, getting up, going to work, coming home, eating a meal, going to bed, getting up, going to work, coming home, eating a meal, going to bed, getting up, go. You see what I'm saying? Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Right, man. Lifestyle creep will kill your legacy, because after a while, you say like, what am I doing this for? But if you don't have the strategies and the planning and the accountability partner, this show working for you and with you, how you know you're making headway? We're going to make sure that you've got the tools that you need to make sure that you know you're making headway. Ignoring AI and economic shifts is a silent risk. Okay, I talked about it. It's a different world, people. Automation, automation in the economy. You got to know what's going on. You got to pay attention. Listen more attentively to your job. Get involved at your job. Understand what other people are doing, right? Your network is your net worth, right? Because sometimes they're not telling you what's actually happening at your job if you're not in the right circles, right? I'm not saying about kissing up and all that kind of thing. I'm talking about truly understanding what's going on with your company and your business, right? Understand what the market is doing around. Do some research. Go to the company's website. See if you can do some AI searching on the company and what it's investing in, what the stock looks like in that company, who's the owners, what other types of businesses are they involved in, right? Because guess what? If they're making moves, they're just paying you to keep moving, right? At the job that you're in, they're tying you to your desk, they're tying you to the assembly line, they're tying you to the dock, and they're making moves over here. And if you're not aware of what that company is doing, guess what? You're in trouble, because you all of a sudden you're blindsided when they start coming through with pink slips. Okay, and they're doing it because AI is coming in and they're getting way of low and middle role jobs with AI. Okay, don't get caught by that. Right, that silent risk. Okay. What you tolerate financially today becomes what your family inherits tomorrow. Excuse me. Sorry about that. What you tolerate financially today becomes what your family inherits tomorrow. You got to be aware of what's coming and what you're doing. Is your dollars dedicated? Are they allocated to something? They have to have a destination. All your dollars have to have a destination. Okay. Those legacies are pillars of change, necessities over niceties. You got to get it under wraps. Necessities over niceties. And then you got to guard. Be risk aware. Okay. When you have a guard dog, guess what? That guard dog is risk aware. You know why? Because he has heightened senses to his environment, his ears, his eyes, and his nose, his sense of smell and taste. Okay, you've got to be like that guard dog and protect your life, your family with the veracity of a guard dog. And you can name your guard dog, you can whatever you want to call it, right? But you've got to make sure that you're territorial when it comes to your life and your possessions. Okay, guard it like your life depends on it because it does. Financially, physically, emotionally, all across the board. Okay, be risk aware. Okay, 2026 is your line in the sand. So what does that mean? You're gonna have some forward momentum without being overwhelmed. Okay, so you know, how do you have I'm sorry, forward momentum without being overwhelmed? Okay, well, you got to have some strategies and systems in place because as long as you follow in the system, you don't have to worry about feeling overwhelmed because you just got to do the next thing in that system. Just do the next thing. It's already laid out for you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to sweat it. Just you got to do it. Just do it and do it and keep doing it. And then you say, well, Michael, how long I got to keep doing it? Until you got to keep doing it until until you get to the desired result. That's what the system is there. Okay, who's got the most famous system in the world? Okay, McDonald's. Every McDonald's you go to, they're set up the same way. Now they're getting rid of the lower middle wage roles because now they got kiosks taking your money in your order. And they got a few people behind the cash register. Okay, they left that one or two young people at the cash register for people who don't like change, who don't like putting their money or swiping, who haven't got figured that out yet. Right? They left one, two cash registers there. Right? People there at the cash registers. So for those people who like the face-to-face interaction, but most of it is all automated. The only thing that don't work right at McDonald's is that the ice cream machine, right? That's the only thing that doesn't really work right at McDonald's. But hopefully they work on that in 2026. Okay, so let's talk about the drawing a line in the sand, right? You got to have some forward motion momentum without being overwhelmed. You got to have a system that does that. So I'm going to encourage you to focus on three priorities, not 20, but three priorities. One is one financial system that's going to work for you. I need you to start doing one thing financially, whether it's investing, budgeting, saving, in that investing, I gave you the 20% rule, five for savings, five for emergency fund, five for investing, and then it was five for what was the fourth one? So savings, investing, emergency fund, and retirement. There you go. Okay. You got to have 5%. You got to take that 20% in those four different buckets. Okay. Five, 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 five. Okay. That's how you start to alleviate stress because you know you're doing the right thing. Right. That's the one financial system. One financial system. Right. Whether if it's saving for anything, that can help you fix that. Okay. One skill or income stream to elevate. What's that side hustle or that one certification that you've been trying to get to. Get it done. Set it up. Make it work. Okay? Make it work. You have talents, you have gifts that you were born with. Okay? Besides your employment, that's what you do. That's not who you are. I tell that to people all the time. That's it's believe me, when I was working, I love construction because I was good at it. I love working with my hands. I was a great rough carpenter, great finish carpenter, taper finisher, floor, tile. I I love making things out of nothing, right? But guess what? I would rather have been learning to play the piano. I love the whole concept and I still don't know how to play because I've been doing what pays the bills. I've been doing what I thought I should have been doing until I found this. And I love this just as much as I want to. And one day, guess what? I'm going to learn to play the piano because that's what I do. Who I am, I love working out. Working out don't pay the bills though. I'm not a bodybuilder, right? So this is what I'm trying to share with you, right? Um, you got to figure out what that one skill is that you can elevate. You got to get that extra stream of income, right? So I talk about having gifts. Go ahead and use them. It's what you do, but it can be what you love. Okay. Maybe I should have been like Alicia Keys and be a concert pianist or something. Maybe if I had that training, right? But that didn't work out yet. So I'm here with you on the Legacy Insights podcast, bringing you some mindset training, some financial concepts and strategies to get your mind and your money right. That's what we're talking about here. So one protection move. All right. So what are you going to do to protect yourself? Right? Credit, insurance, estate basics. I've got the books here, man. Oh, I'm going to help you with all of this. Oh man, I'm telling you, 2026, everybody, 2026, y'all. So the new year, we don't need resolutions. We need alignment. There's that pillar again. Everybody's waiting to the first. Oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm going to do it the 1st of January. Listen, if you don't get in alignment, probably won't do it in January either or February. Okay. If you don't get, if you don't get in alignment, what you say, what you do, and the strategy to get it done, you're going to be frustrated with your New Year's resolution. Okay, let's keep this thing moving. So here's the legacy charge for you, right? And a call to action. It's never too late. Get started right now, right? Get started right now. Saving money, diversifying your portfolio. Just start, right? Because today's money is more than tomorrow's money. Is worth today's money is worth more today than it will be tomorrow. So your strongest dollar is today. Okay? Your strongest dollar is today. Let's get it going. Legacy is built with intention, not in not level of your income. Okay, I don't care how much money you make. If you're not saving it and building towards something, you're just making money. You're not putting it to work for you. That's what this show is about. Helping you and assisting you to have every dollar have a destination. I'm going to keep saying it. Invite them to You're going to invite you to listen to the old episodes and download the tools, right? Download the episodes so you can listen to them at your leisure. Okay? That's what they're here for. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing this so that you can have it. You can take it with you. Listen to it on your lunch hour, on your drive to work. Okay? Don't let this information go by you. So what's coming next season? What's coming next season? Let's talk about it. Education structure and execution. Education, structure, and execution. That's what's coming next season. Okay. I all set it up. I'm working on it. The delivery, the automation, the production, what the show is going to offer, how much is the show going to offer. I gotta have to start getting me some interns up in here, right? Because it's going to be a lot, people. It's going to be a lot. Okay. And I'm learning from my mentors as well. Right. I cannot say how much praise I have for my mentors and them guiding me through my journey so I can assist you in yours, right? Um, they have the production background and the expertise in this genre, right? But I have the expertise in the financial space that I'm melding it together, right? So it takes time, it takes work, but it's worth it. It's worth it that I give it to you. It's worth it that I deliver on my promise, right? On my gift to share back with you. I've been trying to do this for years and it's finally come to fruition in 2025 and even greater later in 2026. So I'm going to tell you this: your legacy isn't waiting on a better economy, it's waiting on your next decision. I hope you heard that. Your legacy isn't waiting on a better economy, it's waiting on a better decision. And that decision begins with you, the last pillar in the legacy framework. Okay. So, in that being said, I am your host, Moving Money Mike, and this has been episode 27, the lessons learned, legacy strengthened in 2025, the last episode in this year. I am truly, truly grateful and humbled by this opportunity. I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. I want to thank you for just hanging in there with me and looking forward to you coming back next year. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, go back into those previous episodes, get the information, verify it for yourself, and let's make this a brighter year. And I'm out. Take care, people. See you in the next episode, 2026.